recently now.
15 IQ point increases?
Just recently, we talk about the phthalates and we talk about the endocrine disrupting chemicals, but now there's research out that states that iodine helps regulate the estrogen uptake cells, which means that it's
an estrogen blocker.
It blocks estrogen. So probably what was happening with you is you were blocking some of that estrogen. Your endocrine system was coming back into line. That's one of the main problems that we have right now is endocrine disruption everywhere. And the endocrine system is the main system in your body that controls your fat, controls your metabolism, controls your bowels, besides the fact that we have everybody that's stressed out running around in a sympathetic state all the time.
And by the way, I'm not in competition with other iodine folks. I knew iodine was great. You were recommending it, but with all these sources that weren't really true iodine would upset my stomach. What you developed is that's why it turns blue on paper, not red. That's what color iodine really is. It is absolutely in the crystalline form, the strongest. You absorb it. So, folks, don't go out to the store and get iodine from, say, one of the big chains. It'll kill you. People are like, iodine, that's dangerous. No, this is real, approved, safe iodine, but still consult your physician. This is the good halogen. But I'm telling you, Then I sort of Supermel on top of it, and then the extra everything. It just all works in synergy. And now that I neurotically take it every day, it just gets better and better.
What are you doing? What's your exercise program? Because I'm sure everybody wants to know how.
I'm actually working out less than I was a year and a half ago. It's kind of spoiled me. I mean, I was working out like an hour and a half some days. I mean, I used to swim across the lake and back when we lived out there. I was fat, but I could, I could swim 2 miles.
So what you're saying is you're not having to devote like 4 or 5 hours a day.
No. I mean, all I would do is just go swim 2 miles or even try to go jog or whatever, or lift weights, but I would just get bigger. My muscles would just get bigger and I wouldn't lose the fat. Now, look, and I've got more libido than when I was 18, okay? I'm telling you, I mean, it's amazing. InfoWarsLive.com, huge specials running through. We're going to get back to the serious news when we come back, but this is the news. Support our local affiliates, folks. We'll be back. All right, on this Friday edition, Dr. Group rides shotgun with us for another 30 minutes, but throughout this hour, we're going to have open phones on Loretta Lynch and her corruption and her arrogance, on the Clintons, on Donald Trump, the economy, and on the Associated Press, the LA Times, MSNBC, military trains to take on zombies. I know I'll be attacked even covering this, but we're covering what they're covering. They'll misrepresent it and say, I said zombies are real. No. But this is, again, a cover to train our military to take on the American people, and they're getting ready for collapse. What do you think is behind all this? That's another topic I would throw out. 800-259-9231. 800-259-9231 on those topics. You can talk about anything else you want, but I'm asking you to give us your view on those issues coming up. Dr. Group, you were very excited during the break when I was talking about all my weight loss and stuff. So let's finish up with that and come back with this Army Regulation 210-35 and all the news you got, and then calls. But you were talking about healthy weight loss happens over time.
Yeah, so, there's so many people out there that are on multiple diet plans and exercise plans, and they're working so hard, but they're just not losing the weight. And the reason why they're not losing the weight is because they're not repairing the endocrine system. You can exercise as much as you want. You can go to the gym. You can work out all day long. But unless you start cleansing the body and reactivating your body's self-healing mechanism and bringing in the things and the nutrients that your body needs to be able to burn that fat and to be able to release that. See, most of the toxins and chemicals are actually stored in your fat cells. So how it was so easy for you and so easy for thousands of people out there, because we're on the phone, and all you have to do is go to the InfoWars Life products and look at all the reviews, and you'll see how easy it is when the body comes back into balance. It's one of the reasons why you really don't see a lot of obese kids around 6 to 8. I mean, you have some, and usually those are associated with mothers that had severe endocrine disrupting chemicals during pregnancy, mothers that were exposing themselves to high estrogen contents during pregnancy.
Well, I mean, I remember you writing 10 years ago, but also Dr. Blaylock and others, that diet drinks with aspartame make you fat. Well, that's all been confirmed in major studies. They admit that now.
Yeah.
So why are they pushing something that makes you fat? Because it makes you want to eat more and messes up your endocrine system.
Well, one of the reasons why is because if you're fat, you're going to have all kinds of other health conditions. And including mental conditions, you're going to have depression, you're going to have ADD, ADHD, or anxiety or bipolar or something else. So the deal is, if they can, from birth, the whole goal is to get you controlled by the psychiatric industry or the medical industry from birth on. And that's why even pregnant mothers are being given psychiatric medications right now, because they want you in the system. They know if they can get you on some sort of medication from an early age, that medication is going to cause 3 or 4 side effects. Then you're going to be on another medication, which is going to cause 3 or 4 side effects, and you're going to be in control of the medical system. And why this stuff works so good, and why cleansing has always been talked about from ancient Egypt, ancient India, all the way up through now, and what we're talking about is because it works. All you're doing is cleansing all that toxic stuff that's suppressing your body's own mechanism to burn fat. Once you do a liver cleanse, I've always said in my book, the 10 Secrets to Weight Loss that I wrote a long time ago, is that the #1 thing you can do for weight loss is clean the liver. That's what processes all your fat, and that's what keeps you.
Sure, I mean, we get puffy because we're toxic and the liver's not pushing it out, so the body holds water trying to, do something.
And the X2, believe it or not, the Deep Cleanse, the Liver Shield, all of those supplements that we have are all designed to reactivate the body's self-healing mechanism.
Then you take Living Defense, that gets out the parasites.
Exactly.
It's just all of it works together in synergy. Mm-hmm. And when you try one for a while, some of it you only do for periods of time, like the Oxy powder or like the Living Defense, other things you take on a regular basis. But as always, consult with your health care practitioner, do your research, because these are really good, high-quality products, but still, if you're already really screwed up and stuff, who knows what changing that whole system could do abruptly. So do your own research before you do that, because these aren't placebos. These aren't games. We've done the research. These are game changers. Let's get back into the preparations for martial law straight ahead. We're already into an element of martial law now. I have a blind spot that a lot of establishment types have told me about, kind of admin, propagandists for the enemy. They say, Alex, you don't get it. You see us being more evil, more corrupt, more dominant, and it makes you want to fight harder. But the general public has low self-esteem and is weak. It just makes them give up and stop paying attention. We're trying to instill learned helplessness. We're trying to break their will. You think, you're evolving to resist tyranny. The public evolves and adapts to submit. And so people are evolving to be slaves. And so this is really their inside baseball. I don't really believe that. I think they've miscalculated. Look at the Brexit. Look at so many other good things that are happening. You don't have to get even the majority to stand up and say no. But I got to tell you, you look at Sweden, where they've ordered the police on record not to cover up Islamic rapes of women, because that's in the culture. An unattended woman can be raped. And in fact, then she's executed or stoned or killed, bare minimum beaten until an inch of her life with a big cane pole or a big whip. And so there's an article up on Infowars.com. We're not joking. Swedish women use bracelets to stop Muslim rapists. Sweden has come up with a brilliant idea to stop the surge of Muslim rapists. Wristbands that say, don't touch me. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not kidding. And this is on their news with a straight face. Same thing in Germany. The Green Party says, look, German women, just don't wear short skirts. That's the left. These are very sick people. And and they're covering up rapes and abuse here in the U.S. already. We've been covering that. It's just unbelievable this is going on. But Joe Biggs did a piece that's not even comedy, where we just show women around the office wearing the wristband, just like the ones they have there that says, don't rape me. And then he comes up in a jihadi outfit, and he just sees that, he stops immediately. That actually might work, though, because they'll laugh so hard. Maybe that, or maybe it gives the women the confidence to say no. How about a gun? Only the jihadis seem to have the guns. But look, she's not wearing her. It's not funny. I shouldn't laugh. All right, I want to go to phone calls, too. But 800-259-9231. Dr. Group, you kind of got interrupted earlier. Go over these Army documents. Give folks the names of them. Just the different ways they're preparing for total collapse and what your sources were telling you.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just about being prepared, really. It's just about being aware and making sure that you have a source of clean, fresh water. I mean, talk to somebody that you know outside of the city. Wouldn't
a good source of millions of jihadis be a good value for us? We don't need water or freedom or our own land or self. Just have some jihadis would help us, right?
If you just want to die, yeah.
Is that an asset?
I guess you could maybe like kill them and eat them or something.
But I mean, like, they've imported 5 million of them into Europe in the last 3 years. That's a good idea, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, really good idea.
Like, while you're talking, let's just show some footage of people crawling over and robbing and raping, shooting guns in the air. But go ahead, sorry.
No, it's, well, it's amazing how one thing can lead to another thing, which can lead to another thing, which can lead to another thing, and how everything is interconnected, from the genetically modified mosquitoes as a vector for vaccinations or whatever they want to put in your body. But one of the other things I came upon, which you've covered in the past, is Army Regulation 210-35.
Oh, but it's important to recap this. We're not just saying this.
No, these are actual government unclassified documents.
Show folks, unclassified.
Unclassified. Well, whenever we go.
Oh no, there's just a resource they're importing into Europe. I'm sorry, just who needs running water? Self-sufficiency. We have this as our resource. Sorry.
Right.
But here, we'll just go back to these documents. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so basically these are, this document right here is the Civilian Inmate Labor Program right there. And
unclassified.
This is unclassified. So this is real. This is really what's going on, believe it or not. And I was in the military myself, but this regulation provides guidance for establishing and managing civilian inmate labor programs on Army installations. It provides guidance on establishing prison camps on Army installations, addresses record keeping and reporting incidents related to the Civilian Inmate Labor Program and or prison camp administration, which ties into FEMA, which ties into all the coffins that people are seeing, which ties into martial law, which ties into the depopulation agenda. And as a matter of fact—
And who started that? Bill Clinton. And it wasn't declassified until recently because they're upping, they're escalating it. There are people already convicted prisoners at military bases, but they're just priming the pump now and expanding it for the general public.
I mean, they're just putting everything out there now. I mean, the Freedom of Information Act, I mean, you can get, this is just online, by the way, but even things that are becoming declassified with the Freedom of Information Act, some of it is still blacked out. But the thing is, I don't even think they care anymore. It's just like right in the open. Here's some quotes that I pulled regarding the depopulation. This one is from Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh.
Prince Philip, I'm very loving.
If I were reincarnated, I would wish to be returned to Earth as a killer virus to lower human population levels. Prince Philip. Depopulation should be the highest priority of U.S. foreign policy towards the third world. Henry Kissinger.
Yeah, that's the cover sheet to Memorandum 200.
Society has no business to permit degenerates to reproduce their kind. Theodore Roosevelt. A total world population of 250 to 300 million people, a 95% decline from present levels would be ideal. Ted Turner. And
by the way, these are all out of Autobahn magazine, Reuters. These are real quotes.
Right. So, I mean, the deal is, I'm positive too, Alex. I mean, I always like to think, hey, look at the positive things that are happening in the world. Look at people switching to more organic foods, people taking more supplements, people not going to the doctor's office as much, people taking a proactive stance. I mean, that was a big blow, in my opinion, to the New World Order, is the Brexit, coming out.
Huge.
People are standing up. Look, now you have, individual states of the United States talking about secession. Who knows what's going to happen, but it's, as we always talk, it's always this multifaceted process that I think that there's just as much good as there's just as much bad. It's like the yin and the yang. The good, you're always going to have the negative and the positive. So education is first. You have to understand and you have to know how to heal your body. You have to know what supplements to take. You have to know what the government—
Absolutely. Let's run through some more of these articles for folks. You got a big stack of them there.
Right. So here's an article right here. Leaked U.S. Army document outlines plan for re-education camps. When you get deep in—
And again, they actually call it re-education camp.
Re-education.
That's not our word.
No. So what happens? The power grids go off. We have a lack of water. We have a lack of food. You have the zombies walking around in the streets. You have rioting. They have to create martial law. There's got to be detainment facilities. They want detainment facilities. So and it actually talks about having civilians turned into labor, like what you said, literal slaves. So that's why I say you get as far away as you possibly can when you start noticing these things.
And by the way, the Pentagon describes people after a few days not having their EBT cards as zombie-like, disoriented, delusional, delirious. Guys, can you pull up the woman from like a month ago when the EBT cards weren't working, throwing the fit?